Good morning, all of you. Good morning, students. I hope you all have enjoyed your summer vacation, and I'm very happy also because you have done good in your exam, Unit 1. And I hope as well that you have done your science holiday homework. Okay. Now, today I'm gonna start your new chapter, that is heat. And the topics which we're gonna cover in this chapter are heat and cold, temperature, measurement of temperature, thermometer, heat transfer, where we will talk about conduction, convection and radiation, clothes in summer and winter. So we are going to learn about heat. I'm sure all of you are aware of a literal meaning of heat. Now where do we start discussing it? Let's think of the situation where somebody is down with a fever. Sometimes you also fall ill, you also have fever. What happens when you are down with fever? When you touch your body, you feel your body is quite hot than normal, right? So how do you know that your body is hot? How do you feel that your body is hot? When you touch your body. Okay. How do you feel when you touch a hot cup of milk or a tea or a coffee? As soon as you touch it, if it is extremely hot, you try to grab it because you want it desperately. When if it is hot, you take your hand back. Why? Because of that hotness, you would sense the heat which is coming out of that cup of coffee. On the contrary, what happens when you touch an ice cream? Do you feel hot? No. But do you feel comfortable touching with directly? In that case also you take your hand back because the ice is too cold. It is freezing. During winters, what happens? During winters, do you think that your body is hot? Not really. Until and unless you wear a proper woolen clothes or you cover yourself with a blanket, then you become warm. Otherwise, you can actually feel that your body is getting cold. Why? Because it is because of the coolness of the surrounding. So this difference, why does this difference arise between a hot cup of a coffee and ice cream? And where is the difference? And the difference is the hotness. Something is very hot, something is less hot, something is very cold. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about this heat and cold. What causing the substances to be hot and what causing the substances to be cold? How do we measure them? So these are the two extreme situations. In the first situation, it is very hot. In the second situation, it is very freezing. Okay. Now, when you are healthy, you are neither suffering from fever nor it is very cold. So in that case, your body temperature is normal. That is, it is neither very hot nor very cold. That means your body temperature or a body can be hot or a hotter. Your body can be cold or can be very cold. So you see, the range of hotness can be different. Again, in the similarly if you have a glass of plain water which is kept on a table in a room temperature, it is neither kept in a refrigerator nor it is very hot. In that case, the temperature neither very hot nor too cold. So what we have to analyze in this lesson is how do we describe how hot and how cold the object is. If I say that if this cup of coffee is hot, I will say this ice cream is cold. Then what will we call this glass of water? How do we describe which particular object is how much hot and how much cold? So how hot and cold the object is? So that is the next question. So if you compare the hot coffee cup and the glass of water at room temperature and the ice cream, how can we precisely tell the hotness of each? Now we might say in a random way that this cup of coffee is hottest and the ice cream is the coldest, and this glass of water is intermediate between the two. Now, does that mean that these are the only three things which define hotness of an object? So let us assume that we say that, okay, this is the hottest of the three, and this is the intermediate. It is not as hot as coffee, nor as cold as ice cream. Now, what if I introduce a vessel with boiling water? So this vessels, the temperature is even more than that of his cup of coffee. So it is even hotter than what we had earlier described as hottest. Now, how do we describe the hotness of this vessel containing boiling hot water? Because it is even hotter than the cup of coffee, correct? So the question is, how do we deal with the situation? Because there is no specific limit how can be an object hot and how it can be cool. So let us think the general situation which happen in our life, and in that case we actually try to make the hotness of an object. Let's say we are down with a fever, and normally what happens when you are down with fever? Normally, now if it has a couple of hours, your body is getting hot. So as your mom touches your body, you can sense that you are having fever. But how will she know that precisely that how hot is your body? So for that purpose, what does she do? She makes use of a thermometer. So she takes a thermometer, it places inside your mouth just below the tongue. Keep it there for some time, and then she measures your temperature. So thermometer is a device which helps to measure how hot your body is. So what does this thermometer measure? It measures how hot the body is. Now if you try to measure the hotness of your body when you are not ill, you are healthy, what you see that time? The temperature of the body is less. So in this case, in a normal situation, the temperature is less. But when you are suffering from fever, the temperature is more. So basically, what is the thermometer doing? It is trying to measure how hot your body is. Now you would have often learned your mom saying that, okay, he has a fever of 101 degree or 102 degree or 103 degree. So more the temperature is, more severe it is. Okay, more fever you have. But when it is like normal, then that how much the temperature would be. Like 98, 97, 98 and 100. What are these? These are the temperature. And what is temperature? Temperature is something that is being measured by this thermometer. So this is the how your thermometer look like, and what it is measuring? It is measuring nothing but temperature. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the temperature, because temperature is something which actually tells us how hot an object is. Now what is temperature? It is the measure of hotness or coldness of an object. It precisely tells us how hot an object is. Like in case of a body temperature, if we will talk about in terms of degree, if it is 100 degree, it means it is more hot, like from 98 degree. So using the values, we can actually decide which object is how much hot and which object is how much cold. So now let us take the same example where we will discuss about the temperature. So the thermometer measure your temperature, which might comes around 101 degree where you are having fever, but it will be somewhere around 98 degree when you are not normal. When you do not have any fever, because its value is greater than this, we see that this object or this person is hotter than this person. So that's how the concept of temperature works. So it works not only with human being, it works with various objects. We can use the same concept to measure how hot that cup of coffee was and how the pan containing the boiling water was. Okay. So using this, you can also see that if you compare a hot cup of coffee and a bottle of cold drink, so which one is hotter? So the cup of coffee is hotter. That means the temperature of this cup of coffee will be more. So the temperature is more and the temperature of this bottle is less. So let us see how do we measure the temperature of various objects when you compare the same example where you have the boiling water, where you have the hot cup of coffee, you have a glass of water, you have an ice cream. So if you're trying to comparing this, relatively we can say which object is more hotter and which object is less hot. Like we say that it is more hot. This cup of coffee is more hot. It has a higher temperature, right? Excuse me. If the temperature of this glass is going to be less than the temperature of this hot cup of coffee. So let's say that the glass of water has a temperature T2. Let's say that a cup of coffee have a temperature T1, ice cream have T3, and temperature of pen is T4. So just to tell you that how we say that relatively which object is hotter than the other object. So in this case you can say that if T4 is greater than T1, because this temperature is more hot, greater than T1, and which is greater than T2 and which is greater than T3. Okay, so this is how growing the temperature we can actually tell the hotness and coldness of the object. Now if you talk about a burning candle, so this flame of a candle is going to be extremely hot, correct? So this going to be even hotter than this. So if it is T5, then we will say that T5 is even greater than T4. Okay. Similarly, if you try to compare the temperature at night and during the day, what do you find? The temperature at night is Tn and during the day is Td. Then you can say that temperature during the day is more than temperature at night. So that is why nights are cooler as compared to days. So this is how, if you know the temperature, you can actually measure the hotness and coldness of an object. Now, how do we measure temperature? Now, if you have ever heard your mom or other people talking about the temperature of body, when they measuring the by using thermometer, what do you get to know? That the normal temperature of your body when you are not having any fever, it is somewhere around 98 degrees. Okay. When you are down with fever, that time the temperature rises up to say 102 degrees or even 103, 104 degrees as well. So that's how the temperature is when you are having fever. Now if you see in your textbook or if you have seen somewhere written in the newspaper or something that the temperature of boiling water is around 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. If you compare these values, what do you see? That the temperature of body when we have fever is more than the temperature of boiling water. When the water boils, the pan becomes so hot that we can't touch it with our hand. If we try to touch it, we might burn our fingers. So it is that hot. So if I say the temperature of our body is even hotter than that, does that mean that when we have fever, our bodies become that hot that nobody can touch our body? If somebody else try to touch our body, they can burn? Not really. Even though our body become hot, but it doesn't become that hot as well. So where is the gap? Why do people say that a person or a boy have 101 degree fever, 102 degree fever, and also why say that the boiling water is 100 degree? Because both the value are the same. So where is the gap? So the confusion lies in a fact that there are different scales to measure temperature, like how you have a different unit to measure the distance. For example, if I say 10 meter and if I say 10 kilometer, so there is a huge difference between the two, because 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. So if I say somebody has traveled 10 meter and somebody has traveled 10 kilometer, even though the same values are same, but the units are different. So actually the actual amount is a lot different, because 10 meter is 10 meter, but 10 kilometer is 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. So basically it is 10,000 meter. So there is a huge difference between these two. Now why do we have this difference? Because they are expressed in different unit. So in the similar way, to measure the temperature also, there are different scales which exist. Now when we talk about the scales which are used to measure temperature, normally there are 3 scales which are used: Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scales and Kelvin scale. Okay. Now if I explain or if I describe in more detail the temperature of boiling water is measured in Celsius scale, that means it is 100 degrees Celsius. But when we are talking about our body temperature, it is in the Fahrenheit scale. So that is why this temperature is 101 degree Fahrenheit, which is different than 100 degree Celsius. Okay. So how do we distinguish the different scale of temperature, or how do we, what are the common bases with which have divided these different scale of temperature? So there are 2 fixed reference point for measuring temperature, and those 2 points are ice point and steam point. So what is ice point? So ice point is nothing but a freezing point of water. It is that temperature at which the water starts to freeze. That what happens when water freeze? It form a ice. And what happens when water boil? It boils to form water vapor, right? So this is ice and this is water vapor and this is water. So ice point is nothing but the freezing point of water. So it is the point that in which the water get converted into ice. And when we talk about steam point, it is the boiling point of water. It is that temperature at which the water start getting converted into water vapor. So in all 3 scales, we have determined the ice point and the steam point. So every scale, for example, in Celsius scale, we have fixed ice point and fixed steam point. Similarly, in the Fahrenheit scale, we have fixed ice point and fixed steam point. And that is how we will be able to find out the relation between the various scales of temperature. Like when we talk about meter, kilometer, or for a distance, there is a relationship exists between meter and kilometer also. Okay, only then we will be able to understand how much the 10 kilometer. Okay, how did we say that 10 kilometer is equal to 10,000 meter? Because we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. So that relation is to be established between the different scale of temperature. For that we take 2 reference point, ice point and the steam point. Understood? Now let us look at the various scale of temperature which we will be discussing right now. The first one is the Celsius scale, which is also known as centigrade scale. So centigrade or Celsius be referred to the same scale. So it is often denoted as degree Celsius. So this is how we denote it. Next one is Fahrenheit scale, which is denoted by F. And it was named after the scientist Fahrenheit, who described the first time. Now Celsius scale, Celsius was named after the Swedish astronomer Celsius, who discovered it for the first time. So in this scale, the ice point is at 0 degrees Celsius and the steam point is 100 degrees Celsius. So you see, this is the ice point and this is the steam point. So in between these you have various temperature. So as I said, ice point and steam point, they are the 2 reference point for all the scale of temperature. And the Celsius scale, it is also called centigrade scale. We often read this like a 30 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius or centigrade. They both mean the same, okay? The next is Fahrenheit scale, where the highest point is this, okay? 212 is ice and 32 degrees is a ice point, okay? I hope the screen is clear to you. Okay. So the temperature that temperature, that is 32 degree in same is same is 0 degree in Celsius scale and 32 degree in the Celsius, whereas it is 212 in Fahrenheit. So this is how it is related to each other. It is named after name after Fahrenheit, who proposed this scale. That is why it is written as a F, which denotes Fahrenheit. So let us quickly look at the relationship between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So if you try to compare the two scale, you see that 100 degree Celsius equivalent to 212 degree Fahrenheit and 0 degree Celsius is equivalent to 32 degree Fahrenheit, because this denotes the steam point and this temperature denote the ice point. So if you want to convert any temperature in Celsius to a temperature in a Fahrenheit, how do you do that? There exists a relationship between the Celsius and Fahrenheit, that is Tc by 5, it equals to Tf minus 32 by 9. So we do not get into derivation right now, but you can just have a look at this formula. So this Tc is nothing but the temperature in Celsius scale and Ts the temperature in Fahrenheit scale. So let us suppose if we take an example of a temperature which is 20 degrees Celsius. So basically Tc is equals to 20 degrees Celsius. So how much it would be? Let us see how much it would be in Fahrenheit. So let's try to calculate. Okay. So the formula becomes 20 by 5 equals to Tf minus 32 by 9. So this will be 5 4 20. So Tf is equals to 36 plus 32. So this is equals to 68 degree Fahrenheit. Okay. So therefore we can say that a 20 degree Celsius temperature equal to 68 degree Fahrenheit. Okay. Similarly, we can convert the Fahrenheit scale values into Celsius scales also. For example, let us see excuse me, the ice point. So how much is the ice point on a Celsius scale? So it is 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. So if we put this value of 0 in this equation, what do we get? We get 0 equal to Tf minus 32 by 9, and so this become Tf is equals to 32 minus 32 degree Fahrenheit. That means the ice point equal to 32 degree Fahrenheit. Similarly, you can do for the steam point as well, right? Now let us talk about the body temperature, because we have been taking the body temperature that we are healthy. For a healthy person, the normal body temperature somewhere about 98 degree approx. Okay, and this is in Fahrenheit. Okay, now how much is the normal body temperature in both the scale? So in Celsius scale, the normal body temperature in Celsius scale is 37 degree Celsius. So again, if you put these value in the equation, Tc by 5 is equals to Tf minus 32 by 9. So use this, you see that 6.6 is equals to Tf minus 32, or we can say Tf is equals to 66.6 plus 32. So this is equal to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. So this is the normal body temperature of human body in Fahrenheit scale. So now you understand when we say that the temperature of a boiling water is 100 degrees Celsius, correct? So for boiling water, the temperature is 100 degrees Celsius, and for our human body, the temperature is 90 degree Fahrenheit. So 98 Fahrenheit is basically 37 degrees Celsius, which is a lot less than that of the boiling water. Okay, that is why our body is not even comparable in hotness when compared to the boiling water pen. Okay, now let us try measuring the temperature of various objects you see on the screen. Okay, how do we measure the temperature of these objects? You can do this by using thermometer. So we are going to discuss about the thermometer in detail in the next session, but right now I am giving you the rough idea. So the temperature of this hot coffee would be 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. For boiling water, it goes somewhere around 100 degrees Celsius, which is more than the cup of coffee. If you talk about the normal body temperature, that is 98.6 Fahrenheit degree Fahrenheit. If you talk about the temperature of a candle, it can be very hot. So the temperature of the candle flame can even go 600 degrees Celsius. That can be really, really hot. Okay. If you talk about ice cream, it can be very cold. It can be as less as 6 degrees Celsius or 10 degree Fahrenheit. So if you actually convert this into Celsius, you will go in negative. Okay. So in Celsius, it is even lower because it itself start from the lesser value. Okay. So that's how you compare the temperature of day and night also. There also you can see a lot of difference. During the daytime, it is somewhere around, it might be around 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. The temperature at night could be around 25 degrees Celsius and so. So again, the temperature or the weather condition differ from one place to another. So when you read a newspaper, every day there would be some, every day you see the mentioned temperature of a particular day. Or if you ever watch a news on a TV, there also they tell about the temperature at various location. Okay, how much is the temperature at which place for that particular day, and you will see that the temperature is different from one place to another. So normally, when we talk about the temperature, the discussion is again complete if you are not mentioning, will be incomplete if you are not mentioning the scale of measuring the temperature, because a lot of thing depends on that. Okay, so whether it is a 70 degree or 100 degree or 200 degree, that really doesn't tell about it as long as you do not mention the Celsius or the Fahrenheit scale. Now we are going to talk about the thermometer, which actually help. So thermometer is a device to measure the temperature. So here in this section we will see how to read a thermometer, what is the thermometer made up of, what is the different types of thermometer that is available. Now the first type of thermometer which we will discuss is the clinical thermometer, and it is normally used to measure the temperature of a human body. And if the human body temperature, it is very important to measure the human body temperature, because when we fall ill, measuring body temperature is something which is very common, and at the same time it is very important. So if you look at this thermometer, I hope it is clear to you. It shows 35 to 42 degrees Celsius. So you see that it is not reading a longer range. It is reading only from 35 to 42. Okay. Here it is just from 35 to 42. Now do you know why? Because this thermometer is used to measure the human body temperature, and normally the human body temperature lies within this range. Okay, because if it is fall below this temperature or it goes beyond this temperature, that means human being really don't survive. So this is the only temperature where human body can have, this temperature can have. So this thermometer is specifically designed to measure the body temperature. Let us look at the construction of this clinical thermometer. What is it made up of? So if you look at the thermometer, it is nothing but a long narrow glass tube. This tube is made up of glass, and what do you have inside the tube? On one side you have this kind of structure which is called a bulb. So this is called a bulb, and this is a long narrow glass tube. Okay. Now inside this bulb you have a liquid which is present, and what is this liquid? It is a mercury. So mercury is the only non-metal which is liquid at room temperature. So this mercury has some special properties because of which it is used in the thermometer. And beside this we have a small shining thread of mercury which can be seen along with the length of the tube. As you see here, this is a length of the tube, right? So how do we measure the temperature? Whenever you put this thermometer inside the body, like preferably it is always put under the tongue. So what happens is this mercury bulb portion is actually in contact with the tongue, right? So the mercury get heated up and it expands. So what happens is the level of mercury increases. Now it goes up to a certain level and stop there, and wherever it stopped, that is the reading of your body. So throughout the length of the body, throughout this length, you see the shiny thread-like structure. That is nothing but a mercury. So this is the property of a mercury, that it is very shiny in nature. So that is also one positive thing about mercury, because of which it is used in the construction of thermometer. Beside all this, there is also a kink present here, something here. So if you closely observe the clinical thermometer, you see the structure, a bent like this. Now what is bent called? Why do we have this bent? This kink does not allow the mercury to fall back on its own. Okay, so that is the reason why you would have seen that whenever you are measuring the temperature, how do you use the thermometer? You take it out from the box of the thermometer, you jerk it properly. Why do you jerk it? That the mercury levels come down. Okay, now it should be below 35. It should be somewhere here. So once it is come down, then you put this thermometer under the tongue of the patient, and then what happens? It expands and the level is again rise, and it goes up to here or here. You can measure the temperature, and then the mercury will not fall back on its own because of the presence of this kink. So this kink doesn't allow mercury to fall back on its own. Okay. This is because if there is no kink, now what will happen? As you remove, if there is no kink, what will happen? As soon as you remove the thermometer out of your mouth, the mercury level fall down. Because when you bring it out, obviously it is not more, the bulb is not more, no more is contact with the hot object. And when it is no more contact, then the mercury level fall down. So how will you read the temperature? Okay, so in order to prevent that, the kink is present. Okay, this is how the basic construction of a clinical thermometer is, and I hope you all are able to understand this, that it is start from 35 and up to 42 and all. If you have any confusion in this, I can explain this again. I hope this is all for today, and in the next session I will explain more about it. Okay, I hope you understand this chapter. Thank you, students.